It's very unrealistic, especially in the generation we were in today.
It might be unrealistic, yeah.
Right. So, but even if, right, you don't just date a girl to marry her, right?
You should.
Right. Okay.
That's the reason to date.
That's where I'm like, we got everything messed up.
Right.
And I know it's hard, but
yeah, I mean, you don't want to commit to anything like too seriously before you completely know the girl first, correct?
Well, yeah, but you shouldn't even date without the intention to marry.
Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If today's your first time here, don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Alright, so today we'll be checking out Charlie Kirk, educated college student on modern day relationship, and leaves the crowd speechless. Oh my god, this is really going to be interesting. Alright, so without wasting more time, let's get started.
Yes, sir.
You were talking about like premarital sex and things like
Yes.
that, which I feel like is a great concept.
Yeah.
But the question is, do you think men and women both having high body counts is the same thing?
No. They're both bad, but men deal with different sexual temptation than women. It's much easier for a woman to say no to sex than a man. Much easier.
So which one do you think is worse?
It depends what you mean by what worse for them. It's actually worse for the female, psychologically.
Right.
Worse, like worse from an outside judgment standpoint. I mean, it's probably a tie. I mean, but they're worse for different reasons.
So
the man has a much harder time restraining sexual impulse than a female.
Right,
but it's also a fact that when a woman has a high body count, they become less desirable in the eyes of a man. I don't know if that's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just reality.
Right. So on the contrary to that, if a man is a virgin, especially in the generation we live in,
yes,
why are we not like if you're a virgin, are you going to be respected as a man?
I was.
I'm right, but
I was a virgin until I got married.
Right, but think about the majority.
I had a pretty good life and good career. Like
career, yes,
but also, why are you sharing your sexual behavior with people? Like, that's weird. Like, why is it their business that you're a virgin or not? Like, I mean, that's like, who cares?
I agree with you. I agree.
But
with
like, if is the argument that you have sex because you might be like called a virgin? Like, yeah, I don't have STDs. Go to hell. Like, okay.
No, I completely agree with you. But like the fact
I hear the social pressure argument.
Like the social pressure is, it's like if a man is a virgin especially in this dating market, right? Like,
yeah, I think that's unbelievably attractive to women.
I disagree.
My wife's pretty beautiful. Right? Like, she's pretty desirable.
Right.
Would you guys agree? Yeah, Erica's pretty beautiful. I'll just tell you that if a man or a woman remains a virgin, you become insanely attractive in a time when everyone else has been shared. It's not easy. I understand that we live in a hypersexualized culture. I'm not even shaming people. I know it's difficult. But if you commit yourself to it, you should be platformed as a desirable, way to live. And again, I'm not here to humiliate. Everyone struggles and everyone has, maybe today though, if you could rededicate yourself to that way of life, it's a beautiful thing.
But, okay, so then again, does the innocence of being a virgin as a man, like, lower his masculinity?
No, it actually increases his masculinity. Actually, yeah, if you remain a virgin, that means that you have so much self-control over your animal instincts that you're like the most badass man. It's easy not to be a virgin. It's hard to be a virgin. Masculinity is doing the hard stuff, not the easy stuff. So, like, I have zero respect for a 17-year-old. It's like, bro, I have all this sex with people. Like, yeah, you're nothing more than a rabbit.
Yeah. No,
like, good for you.
Again,
like, control yourself.
Again, but doesn't it also come down to, if innocence raises femininity and makes a woman more attractive, wouldn't it do the opposite for a man?
No, I'm saying it actually makes the man more attractive. I think virginity makes both sexes more attractive. I'm not arguing there's some people that are like, men should have as much sex as they want and women shouldn't. I think both should save themselves for marriage. But it's a fact that, and it's not a good fact, that if women do have a high body count, men do not find that to be attractive.
Right, that's a fact.
That's a fact.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah, and so I'm just
I just don't agree with the
like
opposite.
the fact.
Yeah,
but
I just don't agree with the opposite.
That's okay. Yeah, I mean, but I hear all the time from young women, why can't I find a man? Well, because you've been sleeping around for the last decade.
Yeah, 100%.
I hear from men, why are there no good women? Well, because the women are, pseudo prostitutes, most of them, in the area.
Yeah. No, again,
and you say, fair. Charlie, that's not fair. What is OnlyFans? It's online prostitution. How many of you guys know girls that have OnlyFans accounts? All of you. So you all know hookers. It's what it is.
How they pay for ASU?
Welcome to ASU. But,
What?
That blew my mind.
Spot on. I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
We all got friends who probably like sleep around.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to shame anyone that does that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to challenge you to be better. I want to be very clear.
Do you think that's a lost cause? For, like,
No,
friendship? Like,
anyone can change at any time. I would look, if someone who's sleeping around all the time, deep down they probably are mentally tormented. If they're a man, I guarantee they're going to be accused of rape at any time by some girl that wakes up and has a different version of events. And in today's life, that could destroy your life, right? You could have an STD, and or like you have just cheapened the sacred, the holy, right? You have something holy. Why share it with like every random person at ASU, right?
Thing is,
Save it for your soul partner. Save it for the person you want to send for the rest of your life. Not easy, but the fulfilling life is for those people that do hard stuff, not easy stuff.
Well, both are hard. You have to choose your difficult.
Yes, it's a difficult path to say no to hookup culture.
Yeah.
It's a difficult path. I get it,
But it's also
but
hard
it's also insanely fulfilling.
how do you get friends to see like sex as more sacred? I feel like
It's hard. I mean,
hard to
it's just they look at it through a highly pornified, sexualized lens.
yeah, even so with the hookup culture thing, like I think that's a great point. I mean, it's very unrealistic, especially in the generation we were in today.
It might be unrealistic, yeah.
Right. So, but even if, right, you don't just date a girl to marry her, right?
But you should.
Right, okay.
that's the reason to date.
That's where I'm
Right,
like,
okay.
we got everything messed up.
Right,
And
but-
I know it's hard, but
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to commit to anything like too seriously before you completely know the girl first, correct?
well, yeah, but you shouldn't even date without the intention to marry. Dating is not recreational. It's not for sex. It should be with the intent to find a soulmate.
What else would you date for?
That's like
So-
studying for an exam.
Yeah, you're just spending
Right.
money on her just to...
Talk to
would
them before you
get some
take them
food?
on a date. Get
Yeah,
to
I mean,
know
but
them.
it's like again,
Why
if
would
you
study for an exam that doesn't
Right,
exist?
but for me personally, if I'm gonna, if I'm no, listen, if I'm dating a girl, right, I would want to be in a relationship with her for at least 3 years before marrying her, because you would need to understand compatibility
You just
between
prove
two
that
people.
you do have the intent to marry because
Oh, 100%, yeah.
no, okay, that's fine. Yeah, but
Right.
I mean, then therefore
Yeah.
you shouldn't even go on the first date without in your head, I'm looking for flags or things that.
Right.
And then, for
Vetting.
example, if you say to myself, I will never marry someone of another religion. Perfectly respectable thing for any religion, right? And you happen to be dating somebody of a different religion just for the sex and the companionship, that's, I think, immoral. You're leading her on, you're leading yourself on. The whole thing is screwed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's
So-
like a placeholder. The whole thing's
Yeah.
screwed
So
up.
dating to intent to marry, I think, is a good virtue, but also at the same time, if you don't want to commit to marriage too quickly in a relationship, isn't intimacy a big part of a relationship? So why would you save yourself for marriage,
You should save yourself for marriage. That's a great question.
even in a committed relationship?
100%, yes, yes, without a doubt. Because the sacred should only be shared with the person when the vows are shared. In the ideal, I know that's unrealistic, okay, but it's hard for a generation that's so sexualized to get this. But to describe how awesome it is to not have to worry that your partner had to share that with somebody else and you didn't have to share it, that's not on. It can happen. Because your grandfather's generation and great-grandfather's generation lived that, and they lived happier and better lives. It can be done, right? Where you're both not wondering, am I living up to a previous partner? Am I thinking about a different partner? And by the way, with women in particular, the studies show there's a chemical, there's an attachment that young ladies have as soon as they have sex with somebody, and it's very hard for young women to overcome that, right?
Right.
And that's where you sometimes get like ex-girlfriend syndrome. It's honestly understandable. Like biologically, they're not wired to have 15 partners, right?
Yeah.
Men, on the other hand, have a much easier time moving on from one partner to the other, but they should restrain their animal impulse.
Yeah, I just think it comes down to the time period at the end.
No, but we should speak out against. But we should say, okay, just because it's hard doesn't mean we shouldn't set the standard. It's possible, right? Yeah, there's pressure. Yeah, there's external stuff, and there's evidence to show that we can move public opinion. I'll prove it to you, okay? So, how many of you guys know people that smoke tobacco regularly? How many of your friends? Would you say a majority or a minority? A majority smoke tobacco. Like cigarettes?
Yeah.
Minority.
Minority? That's surprising. Okay, well, my point would have been, I'm not even talking about vaping or marijuana. That's a separate issue. But if you would have went to a college campus in the 70s, I would have saw a lot of kids with cigarettes. I don't see that very often. Maybe you guys are going to tell me wrong. We moved public opinion on cigarettes. Now, unfortunately, we now replaced it with other things. But you can get people to change behaviors, is what I'm saying. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. And we should try to challenge young men to not have sex with everything that moves.
Yeah, again, that goes down to hookup culture, but I think at the end of the day, it's like, if I'm in a committed relationship with a girl.
That's a better moral standard, you're right.
Right, better moral standard.
I agree, but it's not the ideal.
You're saying the ideal is marriage.
Of course it is, yes. And I think we all need to acknowledge that there is an ideal. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult, right? And again, I will go back to the approach. You took that sex and ethics course you mentioned previously, which is you need to eat to survive. You need to drink to survive. You do not need to have sex to survive. You don't. You're tempted towards it, you're drawn towards it, but you will not die. Right? And so I actually think it creates stronger men and women with a better ability to find their place in the world, less depression, more purpose. And by the way, all the studies show this, that couples that save themselves for marriage, they have like far less rates of alcoholism, far less rates of domestic abuse. And it could be a sampling error because you're like, oh, it's not fair because those are the people that actually have more disciplined lives. Or maybe did they develop discipline by saying no to the thing that they were most tempted to do?
Let me position myself before I start talking. Honestly, what I really hate is when people brag about their body counts. Like, no one cares. No one cares. Even if your body count is 100, no one cares. So why do you even have to brag about your body count? Like, what he was saying was really, really sensible, because I don't like people who even brag about their points. You are just bragging about STD. It's like they always said it. You are bragging about HIV, but you don't know. Why should you be bragging? And now it's like, now in our generation, people, especially the guys, sorry to say, but let me use them. You know, they find it very competitive. Like, they feel when you have a lot of body count, you're a man. Like, they are trying to change the definition of being a man, because they feel when they have sex with a lot of girls, yes, I'm a man, yes, I did with this, oh, this girl, I have done this, I have this. Who cares? No one cares about your body count. Come on, let's be real. Like, what Charlie said was really sensible. And talking about dating before, dating when you're in a relationship with someone, because the guy was asking him, dating to marry. If you don't want to date, if you don't want to date to marry, then why'd you date? Because I know dating is when you guys are like courting, you're trying to set each other in the relationship to see how into the future. You're trying to make everything work into the future. So if you're not ready, then why'd you go into someone's life and date the person? Because ladies, the lady is going to be like, oh, at the end of the day, he's going to marry me. And the guys is going to be like, at the end of the day, I'm going to marry him. But you, the partner, you have, that's not your mindset. Like, come on. If you don't date to marry, then don't be in a relationship with someone. Because being in a relationship with someone is like just courting with the person into the future. Trying to study each other to the future. Do you get? And he even talking about, I really love the fact that he said that being a virgin, it's difficult to be a virgin. And it's easy not to be a virgin. And that's what we don't get. We feel in our generation that now it's like everywhere. We feel that if you are a virgin at this age, like at your own age, like 18s, like and above, like being young, then you are not a person. Let me say that way, because the men feel if they are not a virgin at that age, if they are a virgin at that age, they are not men. And the ladies still feel it's bullshit not to be a virgin at you. Come on, but I try to tell me it's no bullshit to have HIV or have sexually transmitted diseases at this age. We are just confusing this generation. It's like in this era, we are changing everything. When our grandparents were going according to like the other days how they were going before when our grandparents were going accordingly, like they do get into relationship, build it before they start, get married before getting pregnant and all that stuff, having sex and all that stuff. It was going well. I'm not sure there was a lot of recorded people having HIV, AIDS, having other sexually transmitted diseases. But in this generation, look at a lot of people are having that because they feel when you are a virgin at a young age, it's a sin, it's bullshit. You are not a person, you're not a human being. Like all this is nonsense. It's pointless. It's senseless. It doesn't make sense. Come on, you can be. I'm not trying to prove that those who are virgins and those who are virgins, those who are not virgins are not human beings. We are all human beings, but it's not too late to put up a mistake, like he said. You are doing that, and you feel that you are having sex with a lot of men. You are just moving from one relationship to another. At the end of the day, who is going to want you? Because they all feel that, oh, this person has been with a lot of people and they're not even going to enjoy it. Like I really like the fact that he said that the more you try to abstain for that, the more better version you become of yourself. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying if you have ever done it, that means you're not a better version of yourself. But I feel whatever he said is really sensible, and we have to all come to our senses that having this body count is not necessary. It's not necessary. Let's come to our senses. Like building up with someone and going to a healthy relationship rather is better than having STDs at this young age and bragging about bullshit body count. That's not necessary. I really love this video, and I'm just loving Charlie Kirk because he really talks sense into us. Like this really, really sensible. Sex before marriage is immorality, but with this generation has made everything look easier, made everything look simple. If you are a virgin at a younger age, then you're not a human being. But they don't know that's rather even making you look unique. That's even making you better because everybody is doing it. Why don't you be different? Honestly, I really love the fact that he really explained everything point to point because he himself, I was surprised that he said he was a virgin to marriage. Like, that was really, really let me say, that was really, really good of him and thumbs up to him. Like, I really love the fact that he said that. And I really enjoyed everything because I feel whatever he's saying is educative. And he's not just bringing up the points without explaining it. He's making you understand that doing this is better than doing that. And that was really, really amazing. And I feel he's really making a point because, you being able to control yourself is even proving that you are a stronger person. Because I know it's not easy to control yourself when it comes to sexually stuff. It's not easy to control yourself, especially, sorry to say, the men sometimes it's not really to control yourself. Like he said it in the video, it's not really control yourself. But with the ladies, you somehow have advantages. But it rather makes you a better person and a strong person because you're not like anybody, you're not like everybody, you're not doing what everybody is doing. And also understand the fact that some guys are going to be like, oh, you've been in a relationship with someone, you guys are planning on to have sex till maybe you are married, and you just find out that this person is with someone else. Like, oh my god, like that's going to be like, it's going to be, I know it's really sad. It's like, it's going to make you feel like you were a fool all this while. But still, that shouldn't make it an option for you to say no because of what happened because of what someone did to you. We are not going to be with someone again for any serious relationship matters, but I just want to have sex and enjoy yourself because even if you try to be loyal, the person is not going to be loyal. All these things is pointless. If one person did that to you, maybe that person didn't deserve you at that moment, or you didn't deserve that person at that moment. So maybe you will get a better person, and you will be a better person because you know that still you overcame all those kind of feelings and you were able to control yourself even after going through all those nasty things with the person deceived you, and all doesn't make it still doesn't give you a reason why you should say you don't want to be in a relationship, you just want to have sex with people and move on and make your body count 100 and make you feel like a man. All this thing is clueless, it's pointless, it's senseless, let me say, because I feel that even if you go through that, there will still come a time where you get a better person who is going to be loyal to you and you're going to enjoy your relationship till like marriage or whatever, till eternity, let me say. Because I understand that you're going to be hurt and everything, but come on, that shouldn't still give you advantage to say that this person hurts you, so you're not going to be in a relationship and you're just going to have sex with people. Like, all these things is just valueless. Like it doesn't have value. It's vanity. Yes, let me say it that way because I feel that no matter what happens, you should just stay strong and something is cooking for you. Some better person is coming into your life than trying to say, let me have sex, do this, move here. I'm not a, if you're not a virgin, then if you're a virgin, then you're not a human being. Come on, all these things are senseless. Okay, so let's come back to our senses like Charlie Kirk. Like let's come back to our senses like Charlie Kirk said. Like I really love all this thing because it's really, really educative and I've really learned a lot from this video and I hope you have also learned. Alright, so don't forget to keep your comments coming because I'm not the only person to be giving the comments. You can also keep your comments coming in the comment section. Alright, so don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if it's today's your first time here, please don't forget to subscribe. Alright, see you in my next video. Bye.